Welcome back. Good Friday morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'm Maria Bartiromo, and it is Friday, May 29th. We are coming to you live from the Reagan National Economic Forum this morning in Simi Valley, California. It is 8:03 on the East Coast, and we kick it off with the hot topic of the hour. JPMorgan Chase Chairman and CEO Jamie Dimon here at the forum. Now, part two of my special interview with the chairman and how he feels about the Clarity Act, the future of AI and banking, and his recent meeting with New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani. Plus, he gave us advice for the 2026 graduates on achieving the American dream. Let me get your take on how your business is changing and how the whole industry is changing with regard to digital assets. Yeah. We've had on Coinbase CEO a lot, and I know that he wants to be able to pay rewards, and he wants people to put, money in crypto platforms like his, and the banks are worried that it's going to mean people are taking money out of their deposit accounts. How do you see the Clarity Act changing things?
Let me just rephrase it. We're not worried. We think it should just be fair. If he takes deposits like a bank, he should have bank rules. We have social requirements, liquidity requirements, capital requirements, AML requirements, financial reporting requirements, transparency requirements. If he wants to be a bank, be a bank. That's all it is. And the second issue, not really related to rewards and interest on stablecoins, is also about AML, BSA, KYC, because when you earn a bank system, it's already been through all of that. Okay? And we do that because we have to for the federal government. And so if they want to be moving money around the world, on any basis, you should ask the question, can that be used illegitimately, easily? And the answer would be yes, unless they follow the same rules.
Right. They're not FDIC insured.
And they're not FDIC insured. We have requirements to build branches in lower income neighborhoods. We have liquidity requirements and capital requirements, reporting requirements. We have like 84 regulators all over us. We're just saying it should be fair and equal, period. Not that they can't do what they want to do. If you want to buy cryptocurrency, be my guest. I believe it's a free country, and I defend that right, but we just want it to be fair.
But is that who you were talking about when you said there's a lot of competition out there?
No. I was talking about Revolut and Stripe and Chime and Dave and SoFi and some of these companies, PayPal. They've done a great job in the past. There are companies that are doing things in small business which are really interesting. Capital One just bought one called Brex. And there are hundreds of them. And these are smart people trying to, take a slice of your business or a bigger piece of your business. And Citadel has done a great job in trading. And so when I look at these things, I'm saying, I tell my own people, open your eyes, look what they did. We didn't do it. And in some we could have. In some we couldn't have for a whole bunch of different reasons. Stablecoins might be among that list. I'm not that worried about stablecoin. And we already have the JPMorgan deposit coin. Like, if you're a wholesale, if you're a company and I send you the JPMorgan stablecoin, you know what you can say to me? Just give me my money. I'll put in what I want. And remember, you have to buy the stablecoin and sell the stablecoin. So the transaction costs on both sides. There is movement of money risk in stablecoin. So it's not as simple as people think. I do think it'll be used for cross-border payments, for small dollar payments, for person-to-person type thing. But even person-to-person, if I send money to someone in the Philippines, I have requirements about who's sending it and who it's being sent to. And so you have to. And if you want that money to be sent free, because remember, once that money's in a wallet overseas, it could be in anyone's wallet. And it goes to a third wallet, a fourth wallet. So the first one may be legitimate, second one may be a sex trafficker. So, it's complicated, and the government needs to do it thoughtfully. If they don't do it thoughtfully, it'll be a huge problem.
So are you happy with the way the Clarity Act is turning out?
No, because it allows them to effectively pay interest on deposits, stable coins or something like that, without the protection that they should have. And it doesn't do anything for AML, BSA. It has almost no legal protections. So no, the banks will not accept it that way. And the ABA, the small banks, the credit unions, it's not just the big guys. I'm not worried about stablecoin, but if it happened, I'm telling you, I would have nothing to do with it, and it would eventually blow up on its own. Okay, but that's my personal thing. But I do understand the concern of all the other banks. So,
well, the markup is coming. I mean, what are you going to do about it?
It is. We'll fight it. If we lose, we lose, and we'll live.
Yeah. Okay.
But it will be fought. This will not be. No one's going to bow down to this guy, okay, or that company. And he's the only one. Yeah. And he's spending hundreds of millions of dollars in Washington this thing.
Okay? He said he's representing the whole industry.
He's full of shit.
Well, we're going to watch that one.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, this is turning into a big fight between the whole, each industry. And you're talking about blockchain and getting blockchain out.
But we do blockchain.
You've been doing that for a long time.
We have connections. We have JPMorgan. We're going to do it. I think it's a legitimate technology. I think stablecoin can be a legitimate payment system.
Let me get your take on AI. Jamie, there's some fear out there about AI, and I know that you were in the meeting with Scott Bessent. Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, is worried, or I think is suggested that he's worried that the banks are able to put the patches up before the bad actors can use AI against us and say, oh, how do you hack a person's bank account? What are you doing in terms of putting the guardrails in place around AI and this agentic AI so that they don't have these agents acting unpredictably?
Yeah. So first of all, the big picture is technology has always changed the world and made it more productive. That's why we have so much productivity in this nation. And I do think AI will cause huge productivity. And it'll cure cancers, it'll come up with composite materials, it'll reduce deaths on roads. It will be wonderful. But now you have that one issue about Mythos came out, and it is so powerful. You can see vulnerabilities in your own code, our own applications, open source, which is hundreds of thousands, third parties, and it's a legitimate concern. And I think Anthropic did the right thing to kind of give it to the government and give it to some of our companies to test it and find out what it is and how we can handle it. Now, you raised one of the big issues, the patching side. And you can't, in the old days, for open source, people announced there's a flaw here, it'd be public, and you'd have a week or two to fix it. Now you're talking about you need hours. Because once the adversary sees that, they can reverse engineer and go directly into the vulnerability that was just identified. So we have to build things like utilities. I think Scott Bessent is running the whole part of this effort, at least the financial services part. The banks are all working together. We're talking hundreds of people are working around the clock to figure this out and what could be done. But I do think there's going to be a big part for the government role to play, because it's not just our industry, it's water, it's utilities, it's telecom, it's manufacturing, because if you take down, it's ransomware. We had $20 billion of ransomware last year, but I can see that number skyrocketing. So we have to be very thoughtful how we do it, and we have to help all the small companies. So a lot of smaller banks are like, this is not fair. You guys are looking at it, and we don't want it to look like you're strong and we're weak. And I totally agree with them. So we have to figure out how to help everybody in this, and as we expand it, to expand it safely. If you give Mythos to a company and they give it to 1,000 people, as opposed to a very select group of people, you are putting, kind of very powerful weapons in the hand of maybe someone who wants to hurt your company, like the insider threat type thing. So we got to be very thoughtful. We've learned a lot in the process. There's still a lot to do. I
agree, and I think that the White House and Congress is working on this morning, noon, and night, because we realize that now, because of the Anthropic breach that we saw, AI can actually work against humanity, even though there are a lot of positives here.
It's not working against humanity. So it could be used by bad guys to do a lot of bad things. And like I said, it could be the individual guy. It could be one person has at fingertips a very powerful weapon that, if they don't like a bank or an oil company or refinery or a television company, they can do huge damage. And so we got to get smart. I think we're going to need like a mini Manhattan Project in this one. I don't think this settles itself by us just doing this kind of stuff.
At the same time, you've been using AI. Tell us about the use cases that you've used within JPM.
And we've used it since first time we ever used it was 2012.
Wow.
Yeah, like people think it's new. It's not that new. And it was, and of course, it's gotten much more powerful since then. But think of risk, fraud, underwriting, marketing, prospecting, note-taking, coming up with questions like this, idea generation, resolving errors, building agents who can do things that people can't do. We can read 100,000 documents, in seconds.
Unbelievable.
If you ask, like, how many contracts have this clause in it? It's just powerful stuff. It'll make a lot of people more productive. It makes people, you can wake up in the morning, it can tell you what you need to do or what happened overnight that isn't in this thing. And so it's going to do a lot of things. And it's early. I mean, these new models are just far more powerful than the ones we had a year ago.
So do you think that will replace jobs?
Yeah, look, it's a big issue. And my view of this is it will create a lot of jobs. It may replace jobs. All technology has done that. We had 40 million people working in farms, and now we have 1.5 million. Okay, we're a far more productive society. Those people went to cities and specialized in something else. That's why we have productivity. So I think in the big run, it's a plus. Make America more productive, America wealthier. It may cause job loss faster than it should. And we need to plan for that a little bit. So my view is don't panic over it. Take a deep breath and have a plan in place so the government, for example, every community has community colleges and local unions, trained people in the trades, and every community has different needs. Every school should be teaching people skills they need actually today. There are 8 million jobs open today that can't be filled because they don't have people who can do them. So if we do that, we'll have a system in place that can adjust much more quickly.
Yeah.
The system, our system always adjusted, but it had a little more time. And so instead of panicking, let's take some actions that no regret actions that cost no money that we should be doing anyway. That would be my view of it.
Well, it's coming at us fast.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Yeah. Jamie, I want to get your take on housing. You launched this American Dream initiative back in March, and you're trying to help expand opportunity in terms of housing and getting Americans able to take out a mortgage. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so this is another one that came out of like, what can we do? And it's also a deep recognition. There's part of our society that's not doing well. It's think of the bottom 20%, 30% of the income scales. And, they're the ones who have their job wages did not go up for 20 or 30 years. There's more crime in their neighborhoods. More of the schools are failing their kids. And it's a recognition that you're not going to solve all of America's problems until we attack that. That, by the way, Democrats and Republicans should notice, we still haven't fixed it. With all these policies and all this money, we still haven't fixed it. It's almost the same that it was. Obviously, lives are actually better, but it's almost the same as it was years ago. And so we just want to say, okay, the American dream is important to have a cohesive America, where people actually feel they have opportunity. And you read all the time now, people say, it's unfair, I don't have opportunity. So that's what that is. It's housing, it's small businesses, it's financial education, we call them vital institutions, so it's financing local schools, hospitals, roads, infrastructure, things like that. And very importantly, it's the skill side. So we're going to double down. We did the same thing. Okay, we already do it. We're good at it, but let's double down. And so you mentioned small business, where we're going to go from financing 7 million.
You serve 7 million today.
To 10 million, and we'll get it done. At least we're going to try. And we're one of the largest affordable housing companies in the country. There are a couple of few bigger, but we're going to try to double that in 5 years. And as we do that, do policy. A lot of what holds back housing is policy. It's bad local policy or state policy or sometimes federal policy that needs to be changed.
Well, wasn't one of the big issues the fact that we didn't have enough supply of housing out there?
Yes, but that's policy. They can't get the land. They can't build a second floor. You can't build a second. You can't build a single family thing in that plot. You have to have 2 stairways when you only need 1. I mean, I can go on and on. The studies show that in California, it costs 40% more to build affordable housing. And, in other states, and some states have got it right. So there are lessons to be learned. I think we can reduce the cost of mortgages by 50 basis points by changing regulations around securitization, origination, and servicing that were so excessive, they increased the cost for no good reason, and they didn't really reduce risk. So I think we do that and not change the risk profile, and it would make mortgages much more affordable at the $150,000 range. And that's a big deal because those people want to buy a home. It's to start a home. And when they buy a home, where do they leave? They leave a rental. So it actually creates more rental units. So it's deflationary, in my opinion. And I've been begging the government to change this for 10 or 15 years, and we still haven't done it.
Well, what I've learned is everything is about policy, right? I mean, look at the policy in New York right now and in California. You've got people leaving California because of this potential billionaires tax. What do you want to say about Mamdani in New York?
I think good policy is free. I feel like telling the politicians, don't try to raise more taxes or spend more money. Sit down and fix policy. And I think you can grow 1% faster. I literally believe that. And the public knows you can't get certificates of occupancy. You can't get roads built. The bridges.
Well, that's
like the Baltimore Bridge. The Baltimore Bridge was supposed to be built by now. It's another 5 years. I go on and on and on.
You've been talking about this for so long.
It's frustrating. It hurts. It's embarrassing, and it always hurts the civilians of our country. And so. So I had a great meeting with Mamdani, it was pleasant, but I said everything I wanted to say.
You did?
About what America does, about what JPMorgan does, about my grandparents came here for the same reason his parents came here, to be part of this country. They were Greek immigrants who never finished, a little bit Italian, by the way.
I love
who never finished high school. What we do for affordable housing, for medical, for wellness, that we bank schools, cities, states, hospitals, countries, and yes, we make mistakes. And there were good parts. I went through, cities have to compete, which he had read my chairman's letter. And I said the competition, there's taxes, there's individual taxes, corporate taxes, there's real estate taxes, there are other hidden taxes. And then there's quality of life, which has nothing to do with ideology. It's like crime, police, sanitation, hospitals. And, I want him to succeed. And I said somewhere that I want him to succeed, and we'll see what he does.
What did he say?
My opinion was, he was very polite. He was very earnest. We had a very good conversation, but I said everything I wanted to say. And so then the press comes out and writes a headline I wasn't avoiding anything. I mean, but that's what I should do. And he said what he wanted to say. And like I talked about affordable housing and childcare, most people want it. If you do it badly, it will be a disaster. The thing is, do it right. There are studies that can tell you how to do it right. Get people who know what they're doing and implement proper policies. And so we'll see. And I've seen, and I said this too, I've seen mayors grow into the job. I mean, he's running a city of 300,000 employees now. He's never had a job like that. I've seen mayors who they fail abysmally because they can't administer themselves out of a paper bag, or ideology blinds them to practical, realistic, real-world policy. And so we'll see. And then, if I can help him do the good stuff, I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, but Jamie, give me a break. He did a video in front of Ken Griffin's house. I mean, that's a security issue.
I agree. My guess is he probably regrets that, but you got to ask him that.
Yeah. Okay. Before we end, it's graduation season, and you got today's graduates really worried. They see you, this incredibly successful person who came from nothing, like you just said. Your grandparents came from Greece into America, and you hit it big, and they don't know what is going to happen because of AI, losing jobs. They don't know if they're going to have the opportunities. What's your advice to today's 2026 graduates? How are they going to get a job?
I think they're going to do great, okay? First of all, they inherit this plan that was built for them, just like I inherited the stuff my parents did, and my grandparents came in with nothing. So the notion that we don't have this unbelievable country, our system morphs. It will create jobs. Learn how to think, learn how to earn respect, have EQ, learn how to communicate, learn how to have a heart, have empathy, all that, you'll have a great life.
Well, how did you learn it? How did you learn all of that?
Well, I would go back to my parents and, maybe heritage. Have a purpose in life, like life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The pursuit of happiness is not happiness the way people talk about it today. It was purpose. Have a purpose in life that you pursue. And for some, for Thomas Jefferson, it was farming. For Alexander Hamilton, it was banking and manufacturing, and for others, it's teaching. For some, it's being a reporter. Have a purpose in life. Treat everyone well, like everyone who walks this planet, and don't, fight the bullies if you can. Do the best you can. Make the world a better place. That's it. That's all I ever wanted to do. But I work. I mean, my parents, you work. I got to earn it every day.
Work hard.
I tell people the notion that somehow I go and I can coast. I can't.
No, you can't.
That's right.
And here we are ahead of the 250th anniversary of America, and it's almost 230 plus years for JPMorgan. You were one of the first companies to trade on the New York Stock Exchange.
227 years. Alexander Hamilton was one of the founders, as was Aaron Burr. In fact, we have the pistols on. You should come to our floor. It has all these flags. We have a flag from the USS Constitution. We have a couple of flags from Omaha Beach, and one from the top of Pointe du Hoc. One of the twos on the top of Pointe du Hoc, June 6, 1944, right after the Rangers took it. And it is. We had 100 veterans there last night, and there were a lot of tears in the room.
Oh my.
We have them from the Vietnam War, Korea, George Patton's pennant, Apollo missions. And you will be just walking around, it's very touching. People should understand this country, what it created for people, whatever its flaws, and we can always look at them and improve upon them, but they better learn what it did. And if they don't like it, let them go visit some of these other countries. They'll learn the hard way.
Absolutely. Jamie, thank you for sitting down with us today.
Thank you.
Great to see you. Jamie Dimon. We'll be right back.